Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brownstone. I am your host, Dr. Michele, and you are listening to Numbers Don't Lie, where we talk about getting out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. On today's show, we're going to be talking about how you cannot save your way to millions. Okay? Because if you're anything like me, you grew up thinking that you could. Had hardworking parents, they just toiling and working in and out day to day and retiring and struggling because they put their money in a piggy bank or under the mattress or in a bank account, but the bank ain't really paying you much money like that. If you've noticed, go ahead and check your account within the next 30 minutes and you'll see they give you 0.01%. Some of them used to give you 1%, but child, they being cheap. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself because there's so much more to that. But just know, just stashing cash is not going to help you out. I was on that Dave Ramsey train too. So, I get it. I get it. You anything like me, get out of debt, you get a job, you save your money, that's it, and you retire and get Social Security. Let me just tell you right now, you might be one of them people at the local Walmart greeting people. If that is your plan, there's got to be a better way. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about a better way. And, I know some stuff, but I don't know everything. I'm a data scientist. I operate as a chief data scientist of my own company called Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting. But I don't teach people how to get wealthy per se. But I brought on someone that can. So I'm going to share y'all. I'm going to share her with y'all because I love her. She knows what she's talking about. She's been on Forbes, y'all. She's just a bomb. I'm gonna let her tell you more about who she is and all the fire she about to bring because she's not one to be played with. And if you're really interested in getting your money up and retiring wealthy and not being a burden on your family, you need to listen in, turn your volume up, bring your friends in, your auntie that think they're gonna rely on you. When they get older, because that is a solution for some people, they just figure they're going to live with their children in retirement. But if your children know the same thing you know, that ain't the plan. So without further ado, let me bring her up right now. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right, y'all. Here she go right here.
What's up? What's up? I want to come in with my own music, like the horn. Pew, pew, pew. Like that's what I wanted to do when I came in. What's up, y'all?
Hey. This is Tremaine the Great. She is the bomb.com. So Tremaine, let's just kick this show off because y'all about to have your whole lives changed, okay? Your whole lives changed. Tremaine, can you just start us off by just introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit more about you because I did not do you justice.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm tickled that you called me Tremaine the Great. It's like I know I put it on the screen, but it's funnier because you said it out loud, right? But yes, my name is Tremaine Wills. I am a financial planner and investment advisor. I own a investment advisory company called Mind Over Money, where we focus on creating financial plans for busy business coaches and consultants so that you can get back to making your coins. Okay. But our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs grow their invested assets to $1 million or more over the next 20 years. So that's what I do every day. I create plans and help people figure out how they're going to get to this bag so they can make the decision to retire when they want.
I love that. Because let me tell y'all, I'm trying to be up in that number. She said she's trying to help 1 million get to 1 million. I need y'all to go ahead and let me know. If you in your car, say I. If you listening and you got to place a chat, I need you to say I if you're trying to be in that number. All right. I'm pretty sure she'll take 1,000,001. But if you're going to be in that million, I need y'all to go ahead and say I. Like, decree that for yourself.
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? All right. You got me excited. And you ain't even answered the question yet. That 1,000,000 to 1,000,000 and got we need to do something with that 1,000,000 to 1,000,000. That's something. We'll come back to that. What's up?
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, y'all. That's a whole nother thing. We're gonna talk about it. But if you do 1,000,000 times 1,000,000, that is $1 trillion. And so we're actually starting a movement called the 4 Comma Collective. It's 4 commas in a trillion. And that type of buying power changes things. Okay. So, but yeah, that's what we building behind the scenes. But the mission is one person at a time until we get to 1 million. And it's going to happen. So you could be with us or you could be with us. Really, the options are yes or yes. So
I love it. So she gonna convince y'all. It don't matter. Like, I'm sure y'all already. So you ain't even heard her spit all the game yet. I know y'all already ready. So Tremaine, let's just start with the first one because I'm getting excited. What is a financial planner? You mentioned it when you said it, but everyone may not know what that is because people, when I was on my financial coaching, they assumed that I was a financial advisor, a planner. So can you tell us what a financial planner is?
yeah, so I'm glad you're asking this question because you're right. In financial services, there are so many different types of financial professionals. And so my capacity as a financial planner is around strategy and roadmap, right? The objective is to identify, okay, what assets do you have available? Where do you want to go? And create a plan, a structure, a roadmap to get you to where that ultimate destination is. So identifying, what account types do you have? What property do you own? What assets do you have? And how can we use those assets to, one, generate more assets, right? Get you some cash flow coming in, so that you can stop trading time for money. Because that's what we really want at the end of the day, right? We want to be able to stop working and have that money still coming into that bank account. So that's what a financial planner does. They help you identify, how do I have a cohesive strategy that spans multiple years, right? To help me reach whatever those larger goals are.
I love it. I love it. Stop trading time for money. Because that's how we was raised. If you're listening, if you're anything like me, and maybe Tremaine too,
yes,
that's how we were raised. Go to college, get a job, and you just trade the time in for money. And that was the model. And you retire. And hopefully you do well and put enough in your 401k, and the compound interest work for you. But the way these women be living long and stuff, that may not be enough.
Okay.
And the way most people aren't even contributing towards their retirement.
That part. And what I'm finding is that some people are putting money inside of it, but they have no idea what they're invested in. I had a client yesterday. We were looking over her portfolio, and she was in a super conservative portfolio. She was in her 20s. And I'm like, baby,
that's trying to be
we got to change this, right? But of course, she was excited because she was putting money in. And I'm like, yes, great job. But it's not enough to just put it in there. It has to be working hard enough for you so that it can replace that time, right? So
I love it. Oh, well, I need to circle back to that. I love that. Oh, this might need to be another show because my mind went somewhere else because that is a beauty about investing early. And I think I may have a question about that. So I'll circle back to that. So I'm gonna do a Lamar. We'll come back to that. If you follow me long enough, you'll figure out who Lamar is, okay? So the next question is, what is the biggest myth people have about investing?
There's quite a few of them. I want to say the biggest one that most people have is that it's a fast, like, microwave win, right? Like, I'm gonna put this $20 in here today, and by next Friday, I'm gonna be a millionaire, right? I feel like that's what a lot of people think about when they hop on a lot of these trends. And the reality is, the best investments are ones that you can just put away, like automate, set and forget, and then go on doing what you do, right? Now, of course, there are lots of ways that you can be more active with your trading and different things, but it doesn't have to be this I got to track the market type thing. And if that's not what you want to do, you don't have to do that, right? It can be very small, incremental, like their strategy behind how to do this without having to expect to win tomorrow, but understand like there's a longevity in this process. And it doesn't have to be scary, right? I think a lot of people in financial services, they want you to think that you got to be like a rocket engineer or something like that, right? And that's not the case. You just need like a couple things that you understand and continue doing the same boring thing that works, right? It doesn't have to be this complicated strategy. And once I've been explaining like, hey, this is the plan, they're like, that's it. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. right? You don't need all this super advanced, complicated stuff. But I think people use that as a way to keep a barrier and gatekeep information. So
That's good. I want to come back to that first point because, child, I remember when I first started, in this investing world, and I was messing around and playing around the stock market. My friends were like, okay, yeah. So I need you to get good at that. So I can get this money. You can flip it real quick. Hold on. I don't sell drugs. I don't flip money. That's what we're not gonna do, because even then I understood that you're not about not to say it can't happen. You can have a Hail Mary trade and do amazing, right?
You can.
But the everyday thing is not about to be that. Like she was saying, it's those incremental changes that when you close your eyes and look real quick, it don't look like it's doing much. But when you look back over the course of 12 months, 2 years, 10 years, just like, oh, snap. Like, I am this close to being a millionaire just because you kept at it. So yes. I'm so glad you addressed that. So all those people out there, out there in TV land, out in radio land, if you want to invest money, please don't bother your planners and investment advisors about seeing that return tomorrow, because they'll nicely hand your money back and say, go find somebody else. Pick somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Somebody else to do it. So thank you for dropping that. That was enough for somebody listening right now, because we have such a poor idea about what investing looks like. I need y'all to get the idea of street money. Like, I need you to wipe that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is not street money. Not to say great things can't happen, but we're talking about the steady, surefire way. And if you want to, she did allude to that there are other ways you want to do more. Absolutely. You can do more things to be more aggressive. But if you want to let your money work for you, please keep listening. Okay. Before we keep going, let me just remind you guys that you are listening to Numbers Don't Lie with me, your host, Dr. Michele, on KCCR, the Brownstone. And you can follow me at Mogul Beginnings on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me, Dr. Michele, at Mogul Beginnings on Instagram and Facebook. Or you can also find me on brownstoneworldwide.com, brownstoneworldwide.com. All righty. Welcome home, y'all.
Welcome home.
Yeah, because y'all up in my home. You know what I'm saying? I got y'all in. Look, Tremaine house like roomy too. Like, I can just go there and get comfortable.
Got my little couch for you to join me. Listen.
I love it. I love it. This is honestly, we want you to feel at home while you're listening. Like, you listen to your homegirls, have a conversation, and eventually we want you to join in us on a conversation. Let us know, hey, I took something from what you said today. Like, I talked to a financial planner. I talked to Tremaine, and look, my life is about to change, because it can, y'all. Like, when I do these segments about Numbers Don't Lie, it's really not just to be catchy. It's not just to do something. I really want you to get out your feelings and make the best decisions for your life. When you want quick cash, it's typically because you're in an emergency and you need the money real quick. So we're going to start to deprogram that urgency, that survival mode, so you can start to make better decisions. That's honestly, if you can take some inventory of your life, you realize that some of your worst decisions were made when you were deep in your feelings, emotional about some man or some woman. You were in survival mode. You just need the money real fast, and you compromise yourself to get it.
You're talking good. You're talking good, Dr. Michele.
That's what this show is all about. And today we are talking with Tremaine Wills, financial planner, and she is talking about how you cannot save your way to wealth, cannot save your way to millions. So we're going to come right back to where we left off. Were there any more myths that you want to let the people know about investing?
I mean, aside from not expecting, overnight success and that it has to be super complicated, I also want everybody to know that, like, anybody can invest, right? It doesn't have to be, only for the wealthy. I think that's a common misconception that, I have to have, like $1 million already. And that's not true, right? You can start, and there are some places now you can start with like $5, y'all. Like $5, you got $5. You got $5. And if you don't, you need to raise your rates. We'll talk about that later. Dr. Michele gonna teach you how to raise your rates. But you can start with $5. And so I think if I had to like leave you with anything today, that would probably be the one thing, the one myth I want people to overcome, is that you don't have to be a millionaire to start investing. You just have to start investing to become a millionaire. So start with what you have. And it can be small incremental stuff, right? You like, you ain't got to put $6,000 in the market today, right? But if you do 500 a month, at the end of the year, you will have put 6,000 in. So like changing that thinking like that, like you can start small.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And you kind of, made some room for the next question, which is, I really want people to understand the value of time. Tremaine already talked about not trading your time for money, right? She mentioned talking to a young lady that was currently investing, but it really wasn't taking advantage of the time that she had. When we're younger, so I told you I could circle back to it. When we're younger, we have time on our side, right? The stock market went crazy. Everyone panicked in March of 2020 when they felt the stock market crash. But if you've been in live in history long enough, you know it's gonna come right back. But for those people that were older and ready to retire, that was very scary, because there was no way to know how fast it was gonna come back, if it was gonna come back. We didn't know how long COVID was gonna be here, if things were gonna ever return back to some sort of normalcy. So those people got very scared because they ran out of time. But for those of us that are young, it's just like, I mean, that's a stock market. It'll be back. I still got another 40 years to play up in there. So I want you to contrast someone that maybe started investing early in life. Like I think you mentioned a 26-year-old, and someone maybe that waited until they were 48, let's say 46, 20 years difference. What's the difference between someone starting investing at 26 and 46?
The difference is how quickly the money will compound, right? So someone who starts investing, and let's take it even younger, right? Like 18, right? You can open your own investment account at 18, right? And I actually have a client who started investing at 18. But you can start smaller, and because you have, 40 years to invest, it doesn't require as much capital to achieve the same outcome, right?
Yeah.
So where I might have to put in $1,000 a month when I'm 40 or 50 to like get to $1 million, I can start with like $50 at 18 and get the same outcome, right? Assuming like, risk and the investment structure is the same, but because you have time on your side and because that principal is going to get interest, and then the following year, that interest is going to make interest. Like that compounding factor, you do that 20 times, you have made more in interest than the amount of money you put in the account.
Come
And
on.
when you wait until you're 40 or 50 to start this process, it reduces how many years your money can compound on itself. So it's not that it's impossible, but your money has to work so much harder the later you wait. So people ask, well, when is the best time to invest? And the answer is yesterday, right? When's the best time to start? Yesterday, right? The next best time is today. But you can't go back to yesterday and the years past to start investing then, but you can make a decision today, like, okay,
Yes.
let me get serious about accomplishing these goals and start to move this machine. Because really it's just a machine, right? You're putting the money into this process that will turn the wheels, and the more you put the money in, the faster the wheel turns, and it starts to grow like that. But if you never get started, you never get the wheel turning.
That is so good. I remember it's a graphic I saw. I'm gonna put this on the Brownstone worldwide like .com, because I write articles and stories to keep this fire going. And there's this really great graphic of someone that maybe started at 18. And let's say they'll put in $1,000 a year. I mean, that's not a lot of money, but you're young. Let's up it. Let's say they put in $3,000 a year. Starting at 18, they did it for 25 years. and they stopped. That money kept compounding, right? Somebody waited until 30, let's say 40, since we were talking about people in their 40s, and they were putting in that same amount of money. Even if they never stopped until retirement, they didn't catch up to the other person because they had time on their side. So think about someone that's 18, they started investing, their parents started investing for them. We be in college, we don't got no money. But if your parents made that commitment, it's like, you know what, you got that scholarship. So we talked about that last week. So if you didn't listen to last week, you need to go listen to it. You got your scholarship. I'm going to create an investment account for you. And I'm going to put in $3,000 a year. And then once you get a job, I want you to take over, right? Just invest in that $3,000 for 20 years. That is like 60 years, 50 years of time they got to take advantage of the market, as opposed to, like Tremaine was saying, you're waiting. And a lot of times we're waiting for this magic moment that never comes. Oh, when I'm guilty and I've had to just kick myself in the butt and get stuff done. Oh, when I make this certain amount of money. Oh, when I don't know, when my children get out the house, or when I do this, when I get married, all these things, when I get a better job, you keep putting off making your money work for you. And Tremaine already went ahead and dispelled that myth for you earlier. You don't need a lot to start. So if you're waiting to get a better job, well, how much can you afford in your current job? Because you can always add more to it. If you're waiting to get married, well, how much can you afford while you're single? You can always add more to it. And if you take nothing else away from me, because I feel like I ain't really said that much today. Tremaine got all the juice. But if you take nothing else away from me today, you can start, like Tremaine said, right today, but you can always add more fuel to the fire as you go along. You're not stuck with your $5 investment.
That's right.
Don't get stuck with $5.
That
was an example. You can start, but don't finish there, okay?
It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And one of the things that I share with my clients is like, sometimes there's this embarrassment, right? That one, I don't have a lot to start, or two, I waited so long to start, and none of that matters, right? Because when you start, whatever that amount is, you can always increase it as your business generates more income, as you get a raise, as like different things happen. But what we're building is the discipline and the habit of becoming somebody who is an investor, right? Investing is an action. And so you have to do the activities that an investor would do. An investor is not going to wait until they get permission from whatever circumstance you're trying to get permission from, right? And so what a lot of my clients are doing is the first thing they do is pay themselves. And then everybody else get paid, right? And so if you're finding that, oh, well, I don't have a lot of money to pay myself by investing and then paying everybody else take all my money, you need to go make more money, right? And I think that's a conversation that a lot of us just are afraid to be honest about. Like, oh, I don't make enough. I don't have enough money to, invest. That means you're not making enough money. Because you should be paying yourself and taking care of the future version of you so that you can rest. What are you going to do when Social Security runs out, right? It's projected to be gone in the next 10 years. And if you were relying on that, my friend, you're going to have a very, very rude awakening when retirement gets here, right? We're in a different time. No longer are the days of companies paying pensions where that pension is going to take care of you. The onus is on you to have a better understanding of what is required so that you can finance your own retirement, right? The companies ain't taking care of us no more. You own your own. You own your own.
You're on your own. And I did want to add a little bit, because Tremaine be giving you, she just gave y'all a lot of credit. She said, if you're not making enough to invest in yourself, you need to make more money. Some of y'all are. Again, let me pull out my financial coaching hat from back in the day. I had to pull it out. Okay. Some of y'all are. And if you actually take a look at your bank statements, just open that app and you take a look at that bank statement and all the times you've done whatever, you know what your whatever is. They may be Starbucks, Panera Bread, Wendy's, Sonic, Ruth Chris, going out for lunch every single day, going out with the girls for drinks, going to brunch, getting the mimosas, going out of town. Some of that stuff can be cut out. You probably can cut, if you could find $50, $100, $500 of waste, you can invest that. So some of y'all make nice money, but you living just like somebody that don't.
You know, Dr. Michele, you're right. But I also think too, it's like we forget that we control money, right?
Yeah.
And we think that our our income or lack thereof, right, is a defining factor of how we get to live. And so if we don't have a budget, then I can't be confined by that budget. But the reality is your spending is a reflection of what you value. So if you're not investing, what you are saying is that you don't care about your future.
Ooh.
So
right here,
I don't want to step on any toe. I don't want to step on your toes. I'm just saying, if you go look at your spending and you see like, oh man, I spend a lot of money on stuff. What you're saying is you value stuff. And is that true? And if it's not, you need to change it.
That part. I just wanted to say, when you say you want to step on the toes, I was going to say, step on them, step on them, step on them. Because some people need their toes stepped on. Some people need that rude awakening. Like, value who you are and value who you're going to be. One thing that people say, like, oh, I deserve this. I deserve to have nice things. I deserve to go on a trip. You do. You do. I'm not going to take that away from you. We all deserve to have a very rich and full life. But you also deserve to have a future that is full of abundance as well.
That's good. That's good. Because sometimes we be saying, I deserve. And I'm like, who are you trying to convince? Right? Because if you truly deserved it, your spending will reflect that you deserve it. Your income will reflect that you deserve it, right? So we have to walk that fine line of, I'm telling myself I deserve it because I need to believe and justify my spending versus I deserve it because I did actually work hard. I put this money aside and I did the responsible things first. And now I can treat myself. Right. So which one is it? Which one is it, friends? Are you telling yourself you deserve it because you're trying to justify not taking care of your responsibilities? Are you telling yourself you deserve it because you've already done all of your investing, right? You are living on 50% of your income, right? And the money is working hard for you. So a little, that was a pinky toe right there. I was jumping on the pinky toe.
She's trying to save y'all, okay? I'd be like, they don't want to be saved. But you know, that's not true. Y'all listening, you want to be saved. You're going to do something different because I know you are. I know you are. You just have
You ain't got no choice. Because I would hate to look back 20 years from now and just have to rub it in y'all face like I told y'all what we was doing and you didn't change. You didn't make a different decision. So don't be that person. Don't be listening to this and not do something different if you know you need to do something different.
That part. That's a mic drop right there. So Tremaine, let me tell you, you done stepped on my toes in a good way. I think I got them a little bit last week. But it's all love, y'all. Remember, this is Numbers Don't Lie, where you're learning to get out of your feelings so you can make the best decision for your life, your family, and your business. And if we keep doing things out of feelings and emotions, our family's not going to be its best self. You're not going to be your best self, and your future self is not going to be your best self. I have completely enjoyed listening and cutting up with Tremaine. So I want you guys to be able to find her. So Tremaine, how can people get in contact with you? You have some information or something you want to share with them?
I'm only available by carrier pigeon. Just kidding. But if y'all want to find me, everywhere, like Visa, everywhere you want to be. But at Tremaine Wills, I got a lot of jokes, y'all. I play a lot, but I promise I'm about my business.
But you don't play about your money.
No, I don't play about the money. At Tremaine Wills on all social media platforms. My favoriteest place of all time is the Instagrams. So
yes.
But yeah, I'm at Tremaine Wills everywhere.
Awesome. And while we're at it, so what else can they do to get it to work with you? Like, give us some, child, because I know they itching. Like, okay, I'm gonna follow her, but what else can I do?
Look, if you itching, scratch them palms and get into this membership, right? So I have a framework that I use. It's called the Rich Roadmap, where I teach people how to build a financial plan that actually is reflective of where they want to go with their life, right? A lot of times we think financial services is just about like money in the bank account. And the reality is a good financial plan is going to teach you how to leverage the assets that you have, the future assets that you'll acquire to build the life that you want to live, right? And so that's what we do with the Rich Roadmap. We teach you how to build that. So I have a membership and y'all can have free access, okay? Free access into this membership to see how we use and build this plan for folks who are participants. I'm a teacher by nature, and so we do a lot of video education and, of course, office hours where you can answer all these questions. But if you're serious about being one of those million entrepreneurs that is going to have $1 million over these next few years, try out the free membership and at least get your plan in place. So that's how you can begin to work with me.
Awesome. And the membership, just in case you're not looking, is bit.ly/MB, like Mogul Beginnings, bit.ly/MB_rich roadmap. That's bit.ly/MB_rich roadmap. Awesome. Now I hope some of y'all check her out. At least if you didn't hear that, you can at least follow her at Tremaine Wills. Okay. Go find her, send her a message. And I'm pretty sure she has some links, and she probably has a link to this in her profile. She is reachable. Okay. She is not hiding. She is very much reachable. And I want you to check her out. She has some amazing stuff. And I want to thank her so much for hanging out with me today in the Brownstone. Y'all, I really appreciate your time and attention because you could be any place else. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Remember, you can visit us at thebrownstoneworldwide.com, brownstoneworldwide.com. We have articles up there on more things about Numbers Don't Lie. And take your time to peruse because we're changing the narrative about our stories. So I want you to take a look and see some really cool articles in there. You're going to find something that relates to your life. I promise you. And remember, you can follow me at anywhere. My anywhere is Facebook and Instagram, because Instagram is one of my favorite places too, at Mogul Beginnings and brownstoneworldwide.com. So that's all we have for you guys today. Again, numbers don't lie. Get out your feelings. Make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your friends. Until next time, guys. See you later.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio,
my station,
the Brownstone Center. And don't forget, no matter where you go,